Flow is on atomic, I'm starting fires through poetry. The hardest out, staying loyal, no falling out. And if you step into the court, be ready, we ballin' out. Yeah, the coldest of teens, they know what we bring, don't try us. Ain't no in between, we go for these dreams in silence. Hard work, don't mistake it for magic. We been shooting in the gym, this is target and practice. Yeah. And I'm just getting started, getting my feet wet. It's all in repetition, ain't a secret. All facts, all black dress code. Pay me my respect, collecting every debt. I go the hardest, I bring the pain. Not what you used to, it's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard, go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something, my focus is A1. Every dog has his day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you and I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. They ain't coming close to me. Flow is on atomic, I'm starting fires through poetry. The hardest out, staying loyal, no falling out. And if you step into the court, be ready, we ballin' out. Yeah, the coldest of teens, they know what we bring, don't try us. Ain't no in between, we go for these dreams in silence. Hard work, don't mistake it for magic. We been shooting in the gym, this is target and practice. Yeah. And I'm just getting started, getting my feet wet. It's all in repetition, ain't a secret. All facts, all black dress code. Pay me my respect, collecting every debt. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard.
Can you guys hear me? Am I good? No, I see Kelly says that she's unable to hear me. Can you guys hear me now? Yay, nay? Okay. Hold on, let me see if... Y'all can't hear me? Okay, you guys can hear me now. Okay, that was my bad. I still have myself on mute, so I'm just talking to nobody right now. I'm just talking to clear air right now. See, that's why I need y'all to help me out. So, we are working on, let me find the pattern. Okay, so, hey you guys, so I'm just gonna call everyone out. Hey Kelly, Jen, Fancy, Helen, Joyce, Bernadette. Hey you guys, welcome. Yes, we are working on no, it's not new look. Where have I been today? I've been chilling today. Mccall's 8053. Now this is actually a no notion pattern. However, if you missed my video this morning at 10 a.m. when I dropped that, I literally shared how I did the hack in order to add a zipper. We are adding zipper. I am adding a sleeve band and I'm adding pockets. And I only have an hour and a half to sew this up. So, wish me luck. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. My husband says I'm not going to get it done in an hour and a half. He could be potentially right, but let's see if I can prove him wrong, okay? How many of you guys are voting for KC, Kansas City Chiefs tonight? And how many of you are voting for the Birds? Put it in a chat. Which one are you voting for today if you are watching the Super Bowl today? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and serge this for the back and then get started and go ahead and set that timer for the countdown. I don't know why this table is giving me the blues over here, but let me move it. All right, so let me go ahead and serge this. Okay, my serger is still giving me the freaking blues. It's not doing right. Like, I can't lose hope on this serger right now. Like, have y'all had that experience? Like, you ready to rock and roll and your serger's just like, no baby. We're not doing that today. We can't do that today. Brother, get it together. Get it together today. Not today, because I mean, like, listen, you got to be on my side today. Do you ever talk to your machines like that? Tell them to get it together? Because mama said there'll be days like this. All right. Let me rethread this right quick, because this can't be going into my time. Oh, thank you so much, Audrey. See, Team Bernadette, I got you. Listen, even though my husband said, I don't think you could get it done in an hour and a half, you know what I told him? Put $50 on it. He was like, oh, you determined to get it done in an hour and a half. I said, yes, in and out before the Super Bowl start. In and out. That's it. Because I know some people are tailgating. My neighborhood, I know a lot of people are going to start showing up. Not for me, though. I'm not having a Super Bowl party. Not this year, at least. I did one last year, but I didn't want to have to do all that. Even though I am cooking at 6, when Super Bowl start, I have made some dips and stuff like that, but I just needed a break. Like, I just wanted to relax today. And that's what I did. But he put $50 on it. I know, like, listen, y'all, my husband and I, we are so competitive with each other. But it's all good love. But basically, he's just going to get bragging rights if I don't complete this in an hour and a half. He was like, why you didn't give yourself 2 hours? I said, because that's too close to Super Bowl. So I scaled it back to an hour and a half. And I'm going to show him better than I could tell him that an hour and a half was enough time. Honestly, I don't know how it's going to be, but if anything, we may just have the hem left. So we will see. It's not many pieces. But we got to get the serger to go in because it's holding me up right now. And I don't have little bitty hands to go through this needle. Okay, we got it. We got it. We got it. All right. Layla, is that you? No? Okay. Hey, the live just started. Just to let you know. The live started. No, I'm just telling her if that was her downstairs talking. The live started already. All right. I fixed the serger. We are ready to go. Okay. All right. We go serge this piece, and then we go get started. See, that took 10 minutes of my time. We have faith. We have faith today. All right? We go act like nothing happened. Go ahead and serge. Okay, this serger, I can't right now. It's literally eating up my fabric. I can't win for losing right now. We go put it to the side right now and start. This serger is really giving me the blues. I knew I should have went with my other serger. Good, faithful. But it's okay. All right, so anyway, I'm finna get started. And this serger just gonna have to do something in between, mean green in between. What is going on right here? This is the third time that I'm rethreading this serger. Like, who does that? Any tips and tricks? Oh, do y'all sergers be taking y'all out sometime? Be showing out. Like, why are you showing out on the live? Y'all, like, brother. Showing out right now. Don't do that in front of all these people, right? But it's funny when you can still laugh through it, even though it's really teeing you off. Okay. But I'm still keeping a smile up on my face. I'm still hopeful. All right. Let's try it again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to serge it in my red. We'll just pivot to the red if it doesn't work. Dang. All right, let's try it. And just like that. It's working with no fabric, right? See? All right. Let's try to serge this again. Wish me luck. We're going to try to serge this again. Slowly this time. All right. I'm going to try to go slow because maybe it didn't like me going fast. All right. No. Okay. I'm going to cut that off and go back. There we go. It's working now. All right. It's doing something weird here. Okay. I'll figure that out here in a minute, but we gonna get started. Hey, Diana. Hey, Alethea. How are you guys? Like, my serger is killing me right now, y'all. Like, I'm trying. I am like so trying to get started right now, and I need to have the center back serge before I even put a dang zipper in, but it wants to eat my fabric. Like, what in the world? What in the world are we doing here? Let me see. It's doing its thing though. All right. I changed the tension, you guys. So let's see if it's going to work now. Because I would love to get started today. Okay, so the pink is not, the back is not going to be serged in pink. We go move this one to the side. We gonna go ahead and bring this red baby out. Just like this. And we're just gonna pivot and maneuver. Because 15 minutes of showing out, we can't do that. No. And we're just gonna sew up the back with that. Man, I'm telling you, T, like, didn't have no problems until I started the live. Like, showing out in front of company like that. What is wrong with you? All right, now this one is not showing out. It's just, we're just gonna have some red thread. Oh well. We're gonna make it happen. Okay, so, because this one was showing out, you know, big time in front of company like that, rude, right? So, I'm gonna get started. I am going to be using 2 cameras and switch between the 2. Yeah. All right, so once again, with all of that stress, right, we are going to get started now. It is now 4:16. We are working on, once again, Mccall's 8053. I'm gonna go between the sewing machine and my top-down view for this live. All right, so I'm putting an hour and a half on the time. It is now 4:17. Stopping time is 5:47. Let's see if I can get it done. All right, let's get into it. All right, so All right, after this thing decided that it wanted to do its thing, we are here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and I'm gonna install the zipper first. Now, this does not say that in the instructions. It wants you to do the front and the back at the shoulder and the side seam, but y'all know, sometimes we just gotta go out of order. Y'all see how this looks? Sometimes we just have to go out of order to make it do what it needs to do. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, with right sides together, I'm going to go ahead and stitch up the center back, which is where I did the modifications for the zipper. Now, I gotta play Tetris to see where my zipper stop is, which was right here. That's where I'm gonna stop my zipper. Now, I purchased a 22-inch zipper, and it's going to be exactly where I need it to be. Now, you can stop at 20 inches if you want. It's completely up to you. You can even stop at 18 inches. I just know for me, for dresses, I like to do a 22-inch zipper. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin all the way down to that notch, just like this. Are you guys watching the game today? The Super Bowl? Like, I am excited to see Kendrick Lamar perform at Super Bowl this year. I think he gonna really bring it. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance from the top to that notch, and then I'm just gonna baste. I'm gonna do a basting stitch from the top to the notch, and then sew, switch to a regular length stitch, and sew from the notch all the way down to the bottom. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and pin it all the way. All right, go ahead and do that. Now listen, you guys, I did not even put interfacing on my facing pieces, because that was part of my prep work, right? I came in like, okay, I'm gonna serge the back right before the live start. And then the serger wanted to act a dang fool with me, to where we didn't put on the interfacing for the facing pieces, but it's okay. We'll do that also. All right, so from the top to the notch, I'm going to I'm going to base stitch from the top to these double pins, and then a regular stitch all the way down. All right, let's do it now. Hey, Kimberly, how are you today? All right, so using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and a regular length stitch, I'm gonna back stitch and sew all the way down to that notch that I showed you guys. Let me get my, oh, all right. 1 second, because I forgot to switch to a basting stitch. So we're gonna pull out these first couple of stitches. Good thing I looked at my sewing machine. And you guys think like, Rochelle don't be making these mistakes. Oh yes, we do. I make mistakes all the time, but it's okay. Whatever. Y'all don't listen to my husband. He's a trip. He's a trip. All right, so I have the first stitching that I did at actually 4 instead of 5. I have that. I'm taking those stitches out, even though, yeah, I could have just went with it, but I have to show you guys the right way and not the lazy way of sewing. You know what I mean? Some things you could be lazy with, but I know it's going to bug me if I don't do it correctly. I'm not saying like I'm a perfectionist, but I like to do things the right way the first time instead of just skirt on it. If you know, you know. Kimberly. She she good watching other things like sewing. Hey, Alethea. That is funny. All right, so now we're gonna actually be basting the top to the notch. I'm gonna change my sewing machine to a 5, which is the longest length on my sewing machine, and I am using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way down to the notch. That's where I had the 2 double pins at. Anyone cooking anything tonight? What y'all cooking tonight? It just seems like every time I have a live, I am cooking something, right? All right, so I reached the spot where I have those 2 pins, which is where my notch is. Now I'm gonna switch to a regular length stitch, back stitch, and then I'm gonna go sew all the way down to the bottom. All right, so now that I'm getting ready to approach the bottom, I'm going to back stitch. And then I'm going to press my seam allowance open. Now, your girl forgot to plug in her iron. So we gonna go ahead and do that and make sure that it's hot. So while I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out some interfacing because time is money, right? So I'm gonna be cutting out some interfacing while I'm waiting on my iron to, you know, warm up, because we multitask around here, okay? So move my chair right here and cut out some interfacing. All right, so we go cut out this interfacing. All right, so I'm going to grab my front and back pattern pieces and my interfacing. Now, for this one, I would definitely say you could use woven interfacing for your interfacing. Now, this is just some scrap that I have, which is kind of like an ultra woven. I forgot the name because this is like what's left. But yeah, I forgot what's left, the name, but I could put it in the description box once this live is over if you're interested in knowing the actual name of this interfacing. So I'm going to fold it just enough to put these on the fold, because both of them need to be cut on the fold, and you're going to cut one. So I'm just going to place that on the fold just like that. Grab some pattern weights. Today I'm just using these coins that my husband used to sell. These are the ones that was just left. It is from a fraternity. And I'm gonna put this one on the fold as well. All right. And then I'm just gonna cut it out. And just like that, I have all of my tools on the table, so I don't have to run back and forth. We're just gonna cut it out just like this. And while I'm at the pressing table, guess what's gonna happen? I'm gonna press this too, along with pressing the center back seams. All right, so I'm good to go with all the interfacing. Voila, we're good. All right, so I'm gonna put this right here and pin this together. That's my front. And then I'm gonna pin this to this, and that's my back. Clean these weights up, just like this, and move this back to where it goes, and we are gonna go ahead and press. So give me a second while I press. Make sure you are pressing with your seam roll for your center back seams. All right. So I'm gonna put it back on the sewing machine, where I know you guys can't really too much see me right now, but I'm here, y'all. I'm here. All right, so I'm gonna back it up a little bit so you guys could see. Okay, so I am using my seam roll, and I'm going to press the center back seam open, and you want to press it open. And then I'm going to put interfacing to stabilize the area where my seam allowance is, where my zipper is going to be. All right. All right, so where my zipper ends, I am going to make a snip and serge the other portion together. So let me get my scissors. And I'm going to make a snip. So I know that's where my zipper ends, and then I'm just gonna serge the bottom portion as in one seam allowance. All right. Then I don't have to do much pressing open. All right, so now that I have that, I'm gonna put some interfacing on that zipper area to stabilize it and then install my zipper. But before I do that, we're gonna go ahead and do the, I'm gonna go ahead and do the interfacing for my facing pieces. So I'm going to take this. Now I do not have my pressing cloth over here, and I'm on a time crunch, so I'm gonna do it the way that I normally do not do it, and that's basically without the pressing cloth. And I don't have any scrap fabric over here. Actually, I do have some scrap fabric. We're just gonna do it with some scrap fabric and make it do what it do, okay? We just go ahead and cut like this. Y'all gonna be like, Rochelle is sewing the unconventional way. I'm just teaching y'all how to sew the unconventional way. Hey, we gonna make it do what it do. All right, so I'm gonna press and hold in place for about 10 seconds just for the fabric can fuse onto the interfacing. All right, and then I'm going to actually take a marking pen and label which one is the front and which one is the back. Then that way, I'm not looking for it. All right, so I have the back one interface. Let's go ahead and do the front. Same thing, same techniques. All right, and I'm going to fuse this one as well. And then after I fuse this, I'm gonna cut some interfacing for the zipper area. All right, so this one's fused. I'm gonna write a number 4 on here to symbolize the front of the facing pieces. All right, so I have that done. All right, so now what I'm going to do, so the reason why I use project bags is to keep everything together. So I'm gonna put my pieces in my project bag so I don't lose them on the floor or anything. Everybody been hitting up that $1.99 sale? Y'all, I picked up like 32 patterns from Joann's doing that $1.99 sale, and then I turned around and picked up like 20 patterns from simplicity.com. It was bad, y'all. Like, and I can't talk because I'm the one that be telling y'all pattern sales each week. My bad if y'all went over budget. All right, so I'm trimming down the extra interfacing because I just do not like that for my garments. I do not like extra interfacing just peeking out. Ooh, what the heck? Listen, look at that. Oh no, this is slowing me down. Everything want to happen on a live? Like what? All right, we go fix it right now. I could just get another one out, but let's fix this right now. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and fix it. All right, so just some technical difficulties right there, but we are still in business, just like this. Listen, Rochelle is not quitting today, okay? Everything is being thrown at me today. Why? Why, you may say? Because you're amazing. All right, so I went ahead and trimmed that down. I'm going to move my facing pieces off to the side. As you can see, I marked the 6 there for my back and a 4 here for my front. I'm also going to put an F for front and a B for back. All right, move these out of the way, move them closer to my back, right? Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, if you have not done so already, I have done this. I went ahead and made some gathering stitches at the sleeve cap of my sleeves and went ahead and gathered, okay? So I just went ahead and did that for the sleeve so I don't have to worry about it. Now I'm gonna grab some interfacing again, and I'm going to do about 18 inches for my interfacing, and I'm going to make this interfacing about 1/2 of an inch, okay? And that's just to stabilize the zipper area. Now what I'm gonna do is just go to 1/2 inch on my grid and just pretty much just go all the way down to the bottom. But I'm also going to cut it and then measure 18 inches, okay? So just so you can see it, okay? So it's actually sitting at 24, but I'm gonna cut 6 inches off. About right here at the 6, and now it's 18 inches across. All right, so now I need 2 of those instead of 1. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I need 1 more for each side of the zipper, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut 1 more piece. I should have just cut 2, but hey, it happens sometimes. All right, so I'm just gonna cut another strip, 1/2 inch. All right. And then move this out of my way. And then cut 6 inches off. All right, so both of these are 18 inches. Now, I know you're wondering why I have a 20-inch zipper, but only doing interfacing to 18. It's simply because I'm actually gonna make my zipper 18 inches instead of 22. That's why, all right? Let's go ahead and fuse it on to the back zipper area. All right. So I'm gonna grab my back, still working on the back. Helen, you on restriction from Joann's? I literally, like, I did the whole no buy in the month of January. And when I say it was perfect because it was like really no sales that I was like interested in picking anything up. The spring patterns didn't drop until like the first week in February, or like, no, actually it was mid-January, but there wasn't a sale on anything until like this week. So I was just like, well, I saved my coins. Thank you. I appreciate it, you know? So yeah, it was that type of vibe. All right, so I'm fusing my interfacing onto the back zipper area. And then I'm going to trim down any excess interfacing on the back. If you need more interfacing than that 18 inches, you can definitely use more interfacing if you choose. All right, I'm going to do the other side. I have one side. I'm going to do the other side with interfacing now. All right, there we go. Scoot it up. All right, so I'm done with that part. So now I'm going to do front to back at the shoulder seams. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and add in my pockets. But no, actually I'm going to do the front to the back at the shoulder seams first. So I'm going to grab my front. Well, take that back. I have to do the zipper. Now, I told you guys to do all of this and have not even put in my zipper. So let's go ahead and put in the zipper. So you guys know I have a basting stitch from the top down about 20 inches. I am going to go ahead and make sure that the zipper area right here is laying flat in the center of my zipper. And then I'm just going to pin. Now I am going to do it like this to where, hold on, let me do it like this. And I'm going to make sure that I'm only pinning the zipper area, okay? So I'm just turning it sideways, and I'm going to make sure that my zipper is in the center on that line, and then I'm just going to pin all the way down about 18 inches. Now, my zipper is 22 inches, so it's gonna extend a little bit at the top, but I like to make sure that my zipper is not in my way. And I'm just gonna pin all the way down about 18 inches. All right. Now I find like doing the zipper this way is easier than the way that it tells you to do it on pattern instructions. If you know what I'm talking about. That sometimes these pattern instructions are not clear. So I like to do my invisible zippers this way and then just open up the basting stitch instead of going through all of that, you know, everything we go through with these pattern instructions. All right, so now that I have it pinned, I'm going to go ahead and baste the zipper on this side, then flip it over and then go the opposite direction. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right. All right, so I'm going to switch to a basting stitch right now. And I'm going to actually put on my zipper foot. You do not have to, but I find it to be easier when you do that. Switch to a zipper foot to baste it on and then to sew on your zipper. So let me find my zipper foot. Boom. Got it. All right, so I'm gonna put on this zipper foot. And I'm going to baste one side and then turn around and baste the opposite direction. Right. All right, so now I'm gonna baste the opposite way up. So I'm gonna make sure I am only attaching the zipper to the seam allowance and not to the actual dress just yet. You only want to baste on the seam allowance area. All right, so now the opposite side of the zipper teeth. And you want to make sure that you don't have fabric underneath, because if you do, it's going to be on your fabric. So you want to make sure that you're just basting on the zipper instead of your fabric and zipper and have bunching going on. All right, so I made it to the top. I'm going to back stitch, break my threads, and then I'm going to go ahead and this is what it looks like so far, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and open up that basting stitch so you can see the zipper. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my seam ripper and I'm going to open up those basting stitches all the way up. Now see what I mean? Like right here, I'm going to fix that. But if you see right here, I can't zoom it in. So I caught a little bit of my fabric, but I'm going to fix that also. So just make sure you open up those basting stitches all the way up. Just be careful not to rip your fabric with your seam ripper. All right. Be gentle with opening up these basting stitch. You don't want to go too fast and accidentally rip your fabric. Now my basting stitch stops all the way down here. So I'm going all the way down there for my basting stitch. Okay. So I have a little bit more to do for basting stitch. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot to do. Okay. And sometimes you can't see it, so just be mindful. I'm going to put a pin where I need to stop opening up basting stitches. All right, then that way I know I got to open up all the way down. So how many patterns did most of you guys pick up during the $1.99 sale? All right, so I'm almost done taking out this basting stitch. I'm going to remove my pin in the back because we're good, okay? We're in the home stretch of opening up basting stitches. And this is the last one. All right, so this is what the back looked like. So now I'm going to fix this line over here that some fabric got caught. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out right after I finish up my zipper area. Okay. I'm going to clean up all of these loose threads as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish the zipper area. Hey, C. Hey, Lynette. Good trouble. Joyce bought 11 and then 2 Vogue. 8. See, you didn't go shopping. Oh no, not the flu. Oh no. So I don't know how long the Joann sale is going on. But what I will say is you might want to get there quickly because some of these pattern drawers are becoming like very, very slim to none, if you know what I mean when I say that. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I opened up my zipper and I'm going to sew close to the zipper teeth, but not on the zipper teeth. So I'm going to sew as close to the zipper teeth without sewing on the zipper teeth. And I'm just basically opening up the coils like this of the zipper. So I'm going to back stitch. Make sure you switch to a regular length stitch. You're going to back stitch and sew as close to the zipper teeth as possible without sewing on the zipper teeth. All right, so I'm getting towards the top of this side. I'm going to go ahead and back stitch. Now I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And while I'm doing that, fix that area that have fabric right here. So I'm going to be fixing that too. So first I'm going to remove that area that I accidentally had some fabric sewn into. So I'm going to take out those stitches on the back side. That's why you have your seam ripper close by, so you can take that out. Lynette said, pay them a visit to see what you don't need. Listen, I didn't need any of the patterns that I picked up, but the thing about it is this. So I purchased a lot of PDF patterns to keep from having to buy paper patterns, because y'all know I have over 5,000 patterns and I really don't need any more paper patterns. However, the ones that I picked up are patterns that I have for upcoming collections. So because of that, I was like, instead of me taping all of these patterns together, I might as well just buy them while they $1.99. And then, you know, if I lose more weight, because y'all know I've been on the 75 hard, I've been losing weight like crazy, y'all. Good weight too. But it wasn't like I need to lose weight. It was more like I needed to eat healthier. That's basically what my main motivation for 2025 was. So, or I should say is. So that's why I decided to do 75 hard, and it's actually going really, really good, y'all. Like, instead of me doing 2 45-minute exercises, because I don't have time for that, I do 3 30-minute exercises 3 times a day. So I work out in the morning before I go to work, inside. I walk outside the premises of my parking lot at work. And then my husband and I, we walk outside again at night after we finish eating. So, and then that's when we kind of like catch up on our day. So that's what we normally do. And it's been going really good, honestly. And actually, I'm able to sleep a lot better and get more rest, because that was another thing that I wasn't getting daily. I was only sleeping for like 5 to 6 hours, but also I had a stressful job too. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. Your girl's excited, booked and busy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all. So Michelle from Canada, Canadian Michelle. I don't know if there's another Michelle in here, because I know sometimes there's another Michelle that's in here, but I'm speaking to Michelle from Canada. Are you able to purchase patterns on simplicity.com with no issues? Because I know, like, for the Caribbeans, they're unable to purchase patterns on simplicity.com. Or do you have to go through Simplicity Mccall'S UK to purchase patterns? All right, so I fixed that little area that had the fabric issue. So I fixed that, and now I'm still on the other side of this zipper to be done with the zipper area. Zippers are not bad once you get the hang of it, honestly. I think zippers are much easier than doing buttons and buttonholes, but I do it all, so no issues there. We are a little past 30 minutes, and I would say, I don't even know if I want to say I'm halfway done, but I can say I'm halfway done with this dress. Hey, Gifts Extraordinary. Haha, I hear you, Michelle. All right, so the zipper area is now completed. It is looking good. Okay. So now I'm going to sew the front to the back at the shoulder seam, and then I'm going to add my pockets, okay? So this is my back. The zipper is looking amazing, like I told you. Boom, boom. All right. So now I'm going to grab my front, which is pattern piece number 1. And I'm gonna put this pattern piece back in my project bag, not to lose anything, right? And with right sides together, I am going to attach at the shoulder seams, just like this. And then we're gonna sew using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm gonna pin at the notch and then pin all the way across on both sides. I'm gonna do the other side the same way because why not? You can't have one without the other, right? And then I'm gonna pin here and one more pin. And now using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm gonna sew across both shoulder seams and then finishing off with my serger. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to sew the shoulder seams, 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, back stitch at the beginning, but first let me switch from my zipper foot because I no longer need that, back to my regular foot. All right, and we're gonna sew at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Make sure you're back stitching at the beginning and at the end. And then we're gonna finish off our seam allowance. All right, so I'm gonna do the other shoulder seam the same way. You guys, this is the first project for hashtag Make92025 and hashtag So Lucky Jar. So I'm doing 2 challenges with 1 garment. That's what's up. You can't beat that. Maximize your projects, honey. Hold on, let me scoot this down. I don't want to knock the iron over. All right, so now I'm going to serge the seam allowance. All right, so I'm gonna press the seam allowance towards the back instead of to the front. Cut all of these loose threads and press the seam allowance to the back and then start working on the pockets. Oops. All right, so I'm pressing my shoulder seams towards the back. And then the other one, press it towards the back. And quick pause for the cause to pour some more water in my iron. All right, so I didn't have enough water, so we went ahead and got some water to pour in this iron so it could steam really good. Knock all these wrinkles out, you know. All right, so now that I have that done, we're gonna go ahead and start working on our pockets. So I'm going to start with the front. I'm gonna scoot it all the way up, okay? And what I'm going to do is grab my pocket pattern pieces. Now you should have cut 4 pockets, okay? 2 for the front, 2 for the back. All right, so what I'm gonna do, now you have options. You could start where you made that notch is where I'm gonna start. If you can see this, I'm gonna start where that notch is. I'm gonna put the top right at that notch, okay? And then pin the side seams. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to sew at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance on the pockets and then serge them, but you're going to make sure that your knife is off when you serge them, okay? Why does it look, oh, okay, I'm tripping. All right, so one thing I wanna mention, if you remember when I did the modification, I said I made one at a, one from the waistline at 1.5 and then one at 2 inches. So make sure you are measuring to see what that looks like. So 6 inches down, it should be 6 inches down from that side seam, okay? So I'm gonna make sure that my pocket is 6 inches down, which it is for me. 6 inches down from this top of the armhole area, all right? And then you're just gonna pin. Now, if you did 2 inches, it's going to be 8 inches down, okay? From the top. So I'm just gonna pin the pockets to both the front and the back. So make sure you are pinning your pockets to the back of your dress as well. So I have it in the front. Now I'm just gonna slide it down, turn it around, boom. This is how you quit going to the sewing machine 50 million times after each step. Because you guys know I like to work smarter and not harder. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna make sure that I have my pocket 6 inches down because that's what I have on the front. And with right sides together, I'm going to go ahead and pin at that notch. And I'm going to be sewing using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and then making sure that my serger, the knife is turned off of my serger and I'm going to serge it, okay? So first, let me go ahead and pin the pocket in place. I'm done on that side. We're going to do it on this side now. Same situation. We're gonna pin there. And there. Now, if you notice, I have not read any of the instructions. I'm just kind of like going doing my own thing. All right, now using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to backstitch at the beginning and at the end. Once I'm done sewing at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to serge all 4 pockets, all right? Let's go ahead and do that now. Y'all are so funny about the patterns. But that's what happens when they have a $1.99 sale. I don't buy many patterns when it's $2.99. You know, I'll buy the new patterns when they're $4.99 on Simplicity. But I've been like literally watching it really, really closely because it just seems kind of like, do I really need this pattern? Can I hack this pattern? Of course, I could always hack any pattern, but it's the, do I want to hack it? Do I have a pattern that's similar? I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 10, you have a pattern that's similar to the one that you're picking up. But it's like, do I want to hack this pattern? Do I not want to hack this pattern? All right, so I back stitch at the beginning. I'm coming up to the end of the first pocket, back stitch at the end, cut my thread, and then I'm gonna do all the pockets the same way. So I'm gonna switch over to the other pocket and sew. Oops. Using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, same thing. And I know some people do 1/4 of an inch, but I feel like that notch peeks through when I do 1/4 of an inch. So I like to do 3/8 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch is not gonna hurt. An extra 1/4 of an inch is not gonna hurt my pockets, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do the other two the same way. Okay, so my top extension for the zipper is probably, I'm gonna measure it for you, Alethea, but it's probably about, I'm gonna say like 1/2 inch, just to show you kind of like the top part of my zipper. But because this pattern has the facing, it's not gonna matter simply because it's gonna be down a little bit further for that facing. But I'm gonna say, for the top of the zipper, you just want it out of your way to where the zipper pull is out of your way. Is basically what I do. So I'll measure it for you when I go back to the table to let you know how far down you want your zipper to be so it's out of your way. Kim, you not late. You just joining everyone else. I always say, come when you can. Don't worry about being on time, because sometimes that on time you didn't miss a thing. You probably missed a little bit of the conversation, but you could join in where you fit in, honey. Angela, you didn't miss out. You right on time, baby. You right on time. Come and join the vibe. We just talking about pattern sales. You didn't miss anything. All right, so I have one more pocket to do on this other side, and then I'm gonna serge my pockets, seam allowance. All right, so I'm gonna do this side. All right, so I have that done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and serge the pockets on all four. And I'm gonna cut off my knife. Make sure that my knife is not engaged. So basically disengage your knife so you are able to serge and not cut off any fabric. So that's one, and I'm gonna do all three pockets the same way. So I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm sorry if the chair is in your way. Pocket number 2, successfully done. Now moving over to the other pockets, which happens to be in the front. I'm gonna do both of those. Woof, woo child. All right, pocket 3 is done. Looking for the last pocket, and she is right here. We're gonna get this one done now. All right, so all 4 pockets is done. Now I'm going to attach front to back at the side seams, all right? So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so listen, before I even do that, I gotta put my sleeves in my sleeve band, okay? So, first things first, actually, I'm gonna have to do the sleeves last because I have sleeve bands and have to be on the sleeve band. So let me just recap with the instructions because I've been telling you guys to do all of this without the instructions. So we did the step number 2. We pinned the front to the back at the shoulder and the side seams. We did that. We have not done the facing yet because I'm doing that pretty much last. This is not sleeveless, so I'm not doing step number 7 with the armhole, but skip on down to the sleeves. We are getting ready to do the sleeve here shortly and hem. So the only thing left for me to do is attach the side seams, do the sleeves and the hemband, and then hem. That's it. Now, I have about 25 minutes left for this. Let's see if I'm able to get it done because I've been working diligently and I've been doing an amazing job so far, okay? Getting, preventing that time is on my side, okay? So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and start working on the side seam. I'm going to turn it, cut any loose threads that I see. Okay, look, now my clippers don't wanna work. Why are we showing out in front of company right now? All right, but now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and with right sides together, pin the side seams all the way down and the pockets on both sides. So I'm just gonna pin all the way down, making sure my pockets and my side seam, make sure that your seam allowance is pressed towards the pockets, all right? And I'm just going to pin the entire side seam. All right. All right, so now I'm gonna pin along the pockets, but one thing I wanna do, I'm gonna grab my marking pen, and I like to measure about an inch down from the pockets and an inch up from the pocket. Now I'm just freestyling this portion only because I don't have my ruler right in front of me. And this is where I'm going to backstitch at, right here at this dot and right here at this dot. That's where I'm gonna cut my thread to make sure I leave an opening for my pocket area, okay? I don't wanna close up this area right here. Now I'm just gonna pin around my pocket and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side before going to the sewing machine. All right, you guys, if you are loving or liking this sew along, give me thumbs up on this video. Let me know you like content like this so I can still bring you guys more lives. Your girl's gonna try to bring y'all more lives, at least try to do once a month, providing that I have something to share with you guys. I'm gonna try to do it for like make 9 and make 5, providing like there's not a sew along already done for the pattern. Because I definitely do not like duplicating other people's sew alongs. Whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, I do not choose to do somebody else's sew along. Like, it has to be like really, really bad for me to want to recreate somebody else's sew along that's already done. So before I do a sew along, I always try to check and see if someone have already done it. If I'm doing a modification, I'll do it, but with the modifications, not like just straight up out the package. Like this one, there could have been a sew along for this already on YouTube, but I'm doing it with modifications, so that's why I decided to do a live for this one. All right, so I'm going to pin this side now. All the way down. All right, pin. And pin right there at that dot. Leave this portion open, and then I'm going to pin at this other dot right there. And then pin all the way around and come back and pin around the pockets. Right there. All right. All right, so now that I have the sides pinned up, I'm gonna go ahead and pin around the pockets now. And then we're gonna sew the side seams and the pockets using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and serge. We're gonna do all of that in the next few minutes. I'm making pretty good timing, y'all. What y'all think? Because all that's left is the sleeves, the bands, and the hem and facing after this. So I'm making pretty good time to be on an hour-and-a-half time crunch, y'all. What y'all think? I might be making it down to the wire. Like, don't count me out, count me in. Tap, tap, tap in, okay? All right, so now using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm gonna start at the top. Well, actually, I'm actually gonna start at the hem. So I'm gonna start at the hem. So all the way up to this first dot, back stitch there. Sew around the pockets all the way to this dot, using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to this dot, back stitch there, and then sew up and back stitch. After I do that, I'm going to serge all of this area right here, just basically this area right here, around the pockets and then the bottom. So basically I'm going to make a clip right here about an inch, right here about an inch underneath that dot, and then serge the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and do it now. Thank you. Yes, I am trying to fly through this dress like the birds. So Kim, like, I don't have, like, in Orlando, there's people who sold, I have a girl in my subdivision, but she's on the other side of my subdivision. She does bags, and we do kind of like a brunch we try to do every month, but here lately with the holidays, we haven't been able to get together since I think like the first week in December. So we're planning to do another brunch. Not next weekend because it's not this upcoming weekend because it's the Valentine's Day and, you know, I'm taking the kids to the movies and a whole bunch of stuff. But the weekend after. So you go have, like, I don't know where you stay, but try to find a sewing group in your area. I just know for me, Orlando for me is not going to be my sewing group. It may be a few people in the Orlando space for me to kind of connect with and, you know. Now, Dallas has a project. So if I was close to Dallas, then I would actually go to Project Sew each month with Monica and a whole bunch of the ladies for Project Sew. So I am almost done with the side seam on one side. I am breezing through this dress like amazing, okay? All right, so now I gotta go back and do the pockets. So I'm gonna do the pockets at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And these pockets were pockets that I drafted like 2 to 3 years ago. But you could take pockets from any pocket pattern piece that you want and use. I don't even know the last pattern that I used with a pocket pattern piece, because I like deep pockets to put my phone and stuff in. But just use whatever pocket pattern piece that you have used for a skirt or something like that to use as your pocket pattern piece. All right, almost at the end of this pocket. Just gotta do a little bit more maneuvering. And then we're gonna take care of the other side. All right, I have one pocket done. I'm gonna serge that one in just a second. But now it's time to go to the other side and do the exact same thing using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to back stitch at the hem and sew all the way up to the dot. The first dot, I should say. She said 150 patterns. I don't even want to tell how many patterns I have. But in my defense of how many patterns that I have, I have patterns from like 2009. I started sewing, well, let me put it like this. I started collecting patterns when I was pregnant with my daughter in 2009. And she's soon to be 15. But overall, I've been sewing a little over 15 years now. But consistently, like constantly sewing, I'm going to say from 2017 to now, consistently sewing. So, I mean, I was collecting patterns more than sewing in 2010. I would sew like little baby stuff for her. And nothing really too much for myself because I just did not want to deal with buying fabric and didn't have the time to sew. So all I did was collect patterns at that time. And then I had my son. I was actually, no, it wasn't about 2016 because I went to the Mimi G conference, sewed something for myself there, and had Facebook groups, still have Facebook groups, but not as active as I would like to be in them. It's just, my time has gotten so busy within the last 2 years to where, I mean, I'm playing a trial period with Facebook groups because when I don't have time and it's kind of like if I don't see a lot of chatter going on in there or any questions, comments, or concern, and it's just kind of like no one's participating, then it's kind of useless to have Facebook groups and no one participate. No shade, but just being honest because I barely have time to edit videos for y'all. Let alone, you know, try to get a whole group of people together in those rooms that I started in like 2016. But my goal this year is to get back to Facebook, but it has to have some, you know, I don't want to be talking to myself, you know. You feel guilty with 200 patterns? All right. See, you are too funny, girl. Hey, I'm making it do what it do. I look at the comment box, I talk, and then I sew at the same time. And listen, my sister says the same thing. She's like, girl, I don't know how in the world you do it, but people love it when you talk to them. You are, you know, interactive with people and you're sewing at the same time. You're not distracted too much, you know. I don't know. I guess because I do it so much. Like, I be talking on the phone and sewing at the same time, y'all. All right, so now I'm going to serge the side seams and the pockets. I'm actually going to stand up for this one because the chair be kind of doing its own thing sometimes. right, so I did one side. I'm gonna do around the pockets. Making sure the rest of my fabric is out of the way. Now, if you do not want to serge around your pockets, you can use bias tape. Listen, I don't have time to do bias tape. Not on a time limit. I would have probably if I had time, but we're not doing that today. Not today. All right, one side with pockets done, just like this, okay? I'm gonna do the other side, and then we're gonna start working on the facing and the sleeves. Yeah, we making headway here, okay? All right, so other side. Now, y'all, I have not been looking at those instructions. We're just going by ear. And the construction I would normally do for a dress or a top, these are the steps that I would do versus what the pattern would want you to do. I just feel like you would be running back and forth to the sewing machine 50 million times if you do it like the instructions. However, if you are new to sewing, I would definitely say follow the instructions to the T until you develop your way of constructing garments. Because I've been sewing for quite a bit of time, I just kind of, what I do is I read the instructions before getting started, and then I know how I could go away from the pattern and still meet expectations, but also sew it like the pattern with minimal modifications, if that makes sense. All right, so the side seam and the pocket is done on this side. Let me clean up these threads. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and serge the bottom for the hem to get that out the way. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and serge this bottom since I'm at the serger, right? So I'm gonna disengage my knife. Now, before I serge it, I'm going to push my seam allowance to the back because I have not ironed it, but I will. And I'm going to serge all the way around. All right, so now I'm on the other seam, making sure it is towards the back. This is the center back seam, so it's not gonna matter which direction it's going to be in. And now that I'm approaching the side seam on the other side, I wanna make sure that at that side seam, it is actually facing the back. So I'm going to make sure, push that to the back. Make sure that's the front. So push it down and it's in the back. All right. All right, now I'm coming to an end. Now, I know that my dress is currently 41 inches, so I'm going to make a 1-inch hem for my dress. I think the pattern calls for 1 1/4. I could do 1 1/4, but I'm just gonna do a 1-inch hem for mine. But make sure you measure your pattern pieces before you sew. So the only thing left, this is what it's looking like right now. The only thing left to do is add the sleeves and the facing. I'm gonna start off with doing the sleeves first because the facing is really nothing to it, you know, to do the facing. So this is what it's looking like so far. Baby, she gonna be cute with some white tennies plus some heels and some wedges. Yes, okay, so this is what we're looking at so far. Let's go ahead and do the sleeves. Did she try her serger? So Michelle, the pictures will probably be done next week. And the reason why is because my daughter is in school during the week and she's in band. So these photos will probably won't get done for this dress until next Saturday for me to post probably Sunday. Probably next Sunday. After editing the video. So one thing I want to say that one thing I forgot to tell you about the pockets is to understitch. But if you did not understitch because I forgot to do that, it's perfectly fine. It's no big deal whatsoever if you did not understitch the front of your pockets, okay? So I forgot to tell you that. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and work on the sleeve. So what we're going to do is with right sides together, you're going to pin your underarm seams just like this, okay? So pin at that notch and then put some more pins in there if you need more pins. Now I'm going to move the dress out of the way. Now, remind you, grab your sleeve band because we're going to be doing a lot of things at once to not run back and forth to the sewing machine constantly, all right? So grab the other sleeve and with right sides together, you're going to pin the underarm seams of your sleeve as well. So we're going to pin at that notch, pin the top and the bottom. All right, so we're going to sew using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, back stitch at the beginning and at the end on both of those, and then serge your seam allowance and press to one side, preferably the back, which is where you have the double notches right here. You're going to press the seam allowance towards the back, all right? So that's what we're going to do on the sleeves. Now, grab your sleeve band. Now, remind you, with right side together, we're going to pin at that notch, which is the top portion of your sleeve, okay? Now, if you missed the video where I shared with you guys step by step this morning at 10, that video dropped on how to draft the sleeve band. Go back to that video in order to draft that sleeve band, all right? You need 2 of them. You do not have to interface if you do not want to. That's completely up to you if you want to interface your sleeve bands or not. I decided not to for my sleeve band, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pin just like so. And I'm also going to be sewing at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. The only difference is with the sleeve band, I'm going to sew at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, back stitch at the beginning and at the end, and press my seams open, okay? So press the seams open on the sleeve band, but serge the underarm seams of your sleeve. Let's go ahead and do it now. See, you were still working with your serger. You still haven't. Hey, C, I'm going to have to do a demonstration because I think you have the same serger that I have. Do you have the Brothers 1034D? What serger do you have, C? All right, using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I am going ahead and doing the sleeves first, the underarm seams of the sleeves. All right. And then I'm gonna do the other sleeve underarm seam. The same way, 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now I'm gonna move that off to the side because I know I have to serge those, but I'm gonna grab my sleeve band and using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and at the end there. Somebody's at our door? Hold on, you guys. Somebody's at my door. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. My husband went outside for that. All right, so back to what I was saying. I am completely done doing the sleeve bands. This is what not completely done, but I sewed the seams for that. Now I'm gonna serge the sleeve, the underarm seams of the sleeve. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other sleeve. Oops. All right, so we are done with that sleeve. Now, here's the thing. I'm almost done with the serger, but I have to do some serging for the facing. So now what I'm going to do is press the underarm seam of the sleeve towards the back and press the seam allowance of my sleeve band open and then fold it in half. All right, wrong sides together. Let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to move my chair out the way so you guys could see this. Move my iron over here a little bit. And I'm first going to start pressing my sleeve towards the back, like this. And on the other one, I need to let it warm up a little bit more. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to press my sleeve band, press the seam allowance open, and then fold it with wrong sides together and press it. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is fold it in half, just like this, to create a band. And just like this, I'm going to press it. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the other sleeve band. So once again, I'm going to fold it in half like this. I'm gonna come up a little bit so you can see it. Now, if you wanna baste it to keep it together, you can, but you do not have to. Just make sure that your notches are together and your underarm seams are together. And I'm going to press it. All right, so now that I have that, I'm going to attach my sleeve band to my sleeves. See, you watch me use mine and you still haven't used yours, girl? Girl. All right, so now that I am back at the table, I am gonna turn my sleeves right side out. Listen, I may not have I probably didn't beat the clock because I only have like 5 more minutes left, but I made good headway, all right? So now, this is my underarm seam. This is my sleeve band. At that where we attached it, I'm going to put it just like this to where you have raw sides together, and I'm going to pin right there, right? And I'm gonna pin all the way around. Now your sleeve band should fit onto your sleeve with no issues. Why? Because you measured the bottom of your sleeve like it shows in that modification, okay? And your sleeve will be 2 inches high, your sleeve band. So we're gonna pin there all the way around. And I'm gonna put a few more pins there, okay? Now, if your sleeve band end up being a little too big, all you have to do is take it in on that side seam. Like for me, I could take mine in a little bit on the side seam and it'll be fine. Or you can make a dart, okay? A small dart underneath that seam in order to stitch it up. Now for me, I'm gonna be good, okay? I'm just gonna make some snips and that's that, all right? So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other sleeve, just like this, because mine end up being a little bit too big by probably about 1/4 of an inch, but nothing that I can't handle, of course. I just make a little snip to ease in the sleeve band. So I'm gonna pin there, pin here, and then you see how I have a little bit of room right there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that in on my side seams to where it'll fit all the way around with no issues. So what I mean by that is I'm gonna pin right here and I'm going to open this seam up and just basically take it in a little bit at a time. So I'm going to show you with a marker. I'm probably going to go in to about right here now. About another 1/2 of an inch, okay? So that's what I'm going to do before I stitch it all the way around, all right? Let me do that now. All right, because my sleeve band, I don't want it to be off. I don't want to make no pleats. I don't want to make no, I don't want to do that. I want mine to be nice and flushed. And mine happened to be a little bit big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it in, but first I'm going to measure how much I need to take it in. And it looks to be about another 1/2 an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, turn it right side out like this and take it in another 1/2 of an inch. And I'm going to sew from the top down. Okay. Making sure that there's no fabric underneath. And I would definitely say go slowly. Now, what you can do is cut off that first line, but before I do any of that, I'm going to go ahead and cut off that line because I don't need it. Trim it down a little bit. And then you're going to press it Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead, fold it back in half, just like this. Make sure you press it open. Fold it back in half like we had it, and see if it would fit onto that sleeve, that area, the sleeve now. And it fits perfect now, okay? So that's what I had to do for mine. If you need to do the same thing, do the same small adjustment in order for your sleeve band to fit like a glove, okay? So I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the other sleeve. So it's fitting perfectly all the way around with no issues, all right? So now I'm going to sew using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, making sure I back stitch at the beginning and at the end of that sleeve band. Let's do it. I have to repin everything because I took off. All right, there we go. It acted like it didn't want to work for me. Yes, because it's like if you don't fix it, it's not going to fit on your sleeve band. And what's the point of doing a sleeve band if you're going to make a pleat and everything else? So I always say like double check, triple check, just in case. Because sometimes when you're drafting, you could take a measurement and then turn around and have to take it in a little bit. Because I could have like not been right at the bottom when I drafted and need some more room. So I always want to double check. That's how you just make adjustments as you're going through the process. All right, so fix that. It's nice and fixed, and it should be nice and flush now. Now I have to press it again to see if it's nice and flushed on my sleeve band. All right, so now with that little small modification, it looks like it's going to fit with no issues, no puckers, none of that. And it's not too big, yeah. It's doing its thing now. Now, I want to show you guys this. This is why I did that. So if you look, now you can see that it fits with no issues. I fixed that gap, basically all that ease that I had in there. So basically, I didn't need to make a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance adjustment like I did. And that's where you could go back and fix that. Just remember how much you took off of yours. Now I'm going to move the arm on my sewing machine so I'm able to make sure that this fits. And I'm going to be sewing at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. And I would definitely say sew a little slower to not accidentally go over a few pins. I have done that before, trying to be so fast. And making sure that you kind of pull a little bit on your sleeve band. All right. And this is what, voila, this is what it looks like. Now you're going to go ahead and serge, and you have a sleeve band just like this, okay? And we're gonna put this sleeve onto your sleeve, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and serge this bottom portion of this sleeve band. And you're gonna do the same thing for the other sleeve, but let me show you how to put at least one of them in. Now what you need to do is just bring your sleeve down. And what I would do is go ahead and press that seam allowance up and then top stitch. Now I'm going to go ahead and top stitch on mine because I do not want that seam allowance just bouncing around on my sleeve band. So where's my scissors? So I'm going to stitch as close to that seam allowance as possible, about 1/4 of an inch away. And you want to stitch not on the sleeve band, but on the actual sleeve to keep that seam allowance in place. Oh, thank you. I try to make the sewing process fun and easy all at the same time. All right, so after doing the top stitching all the way around, this is what it looks like. I know you probably can't see that really good with the top stitching, but on the inside, you do not have your sleeve band just flopping around. It's secured, okay? So now all you have to do is put your sleeve into your dress, which we'll do that here shortly, but I'm gonna do the other sleeve off camera, and I'm gonna put that sleeve into my dress and then do the facing pieces. All right, so this sleeve I'm going to do off camera. I ran against time, I ran out of time, but I wanna pretty much go ahead and finish it because I'm pretty much almost done. So I'm going to look and see where my back, this is the back. So I'm gonna open up my dress and make sure that I have one where the back is to the left of me, all right? So looking at the sleeve, this is the underarm seam. I'm going to pin there. Make sure your seam allowance is towards the back of your garment. I'm going to pin here. And then where I have my, now this is the front, so this is the wrong sleeve. So I have to go to the other side. Make sure you're matching up your underarm seams and making sure that those notches match up. One for the front, one notch for the front, and 2 notches for the back. All right, so I have 1 notch right here, and that meets up with this 1 notch on the sleeve. And I'm going to pin. And then put some pins in between. And then I'm gonna look for that the back, which is 2 notches. I'm going to pin there. And then pin in between. And then I'm going to flip it just like this. There's a dot. That dot meets up at the shoulder seams. I'm gonna turn it so I could maneuver. And I'm going to pin where that dot at the shoulder seams. And this is where the fun part comes in. This is where you need to adjust your gathers so it fits into your armhole area and don't have that bunchiness going on, right? So I'm just gonna adjust my gathers just like this and then pin. You do not want like a lot of gathers at your sleeve cap. You just want it to literally fit into your armhole area comfortably. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, making sure that you either pull up more gathers if you need to and adjust, all right? So I have good gathers going on right here in the front. It's not gonna have puckers and all that good stuff. So let me stitch it in just a little bit more towards that front. Let me take this one out. Adjust the front just a little bit. I don't want too much on the gathers, but I want to make sure that I have enough to where it is gathered enough in the front and not too wide, okay? So one thing I like to do with the sleeves is always make sure that the front is fixed first before you pin the back where you have the 2 notches, okay? So that's just my personal preference. Now I'm going to pin the back and make sure that the gathers are pulled up enough in the back too. If you need to pull some more gathers, it's perfectly fine. You just don't want to overdo the gathers, okay? So I need to pull up a little bit more gathers for the back to where it fits onto my back portion of my sleeve with no issues. All right. So now I'm just going to pin the rest of this to the armhole area, and then I'm going to sew at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around, starting at the underarm seam, and then serge my seam allowance. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so now I have, let me move this iron down a little bit. All right, so now I have the sleeve in the sleeve area and using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Woo, I'm throwing pins everywhere. I am going to back stitch at the beginning, which is that underarm seam. And so all the way around using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Right. And we're coming back around to the beginning. Make sure you don't have any puckers on your sleeve. Hey, Rebecca. From Miami. I'll be down there pretty soon. All right, so look, you guys. So this is what it's looking like. I want to show you guys up close. So you have the sleeve band, and this is what it's looking like just on the sleeve alone. Now I'm going to go ahead and serge this area. Now I'm going to do the other sleeve off camera, but I definitely want to go ahead and do the facing so you guys know how to do the facing for those of you who was already attempting to do this dress as well with the modifications that I shared with you guys. And I'm going to do my hem and try it on for you guys, all right? So I want to at least do that part before I end this live. So I'm going to go ahead and serge this sleeve area. All right, so one sleeve in, I'm gonna do the other one off camera. All right, so now that I have, this is what it's looking like. This is the front and the back, okay? So now let's go ahead and do the facing, all right? Hey, Meb. All right, so this is what the dress is looking like so far. Looking really, really good. I'm gonna do the other sleeve off camera. So just to recap, we have our pockets in the front and in the back. We have the sleeve and the sleeve band, that modification I did, and we also have a zipper in the back. Now, I'm going to turn my dress to the back and unzip, okay? Because I'm gonna work on the facing and I'm gonna show you how to do that, all right? So grab your facing pattern piece 4 and 6 or 5 and 6, whichever one you want it to do. And with right sides together, you're going to pin at that shoulder seam or whatever you want to call it. All right, so pin at the seams, side seams, shoulder seams, whatever you want to call it. So pin there and then pin the other side the same way. And then using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're gonna sew across and then press your seams open and finish off the bottom edge. All right, let's do it. Rebecca, so I plan on going to South Florida Frocktail in April. So, you already know. I got to turn up with the girls in April. By the way, I'm sewing using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, back stitch at the beginning and at the end. I'm going to do the other side the same way. All right, so this is what your facing piece is going to look like. Now I'm going to press the seam allowance open. And then serge all the way around. Now, one thing I forgot to do, I forgot to leave one side open. So sorry about that. Let me leave one side open because I'm putting it over a zipper area, okay? Now, if you don't have the zipper in the back like I did, you would definitely want to do both sides. But I forgot, I have a zipper in the back, so I need to leave one of the edges open, okay? So let me unpick this one side. Good thing I realized that after putting it together. And it happens, but if you, and the thing about it is I'm not reading the instructions, you guys. I just feel like the instructions are great in some aspects, but then you have to put your own spin on it in other aspects. Now, I am going to look at the directions here shortly regarding this facing because I did a modification to the back, the center back, but it shouldn't be anything just messed up, okay? So this is what I have. So let me look at the directions right quick. All right, so taking out the directions. Yeah, I know your girl have not done anything with these directions the entire time. I know I'm bad. All right, so where are we with the facing? See, so the facing tells you to stitch front neck facing to back neck facing at shoulders trim. Okay, so that's what we would do and then finish off the unnotched edges of your facing. But because I have a zipper, I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. Now, number 4 is the front. So I'm going to have to do it this way. So I'm going to press this open and show you guys what I'm going to do. All right, so now one thing I think I might have an issue with is because I added a center back zipper. My facing may not go all the way around because I did not add 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to the facing. So that's one thing that I forgot. But at any rate, I could cut another one off camera and do this. So that's one thing that I will notice that I don't have. Yep, that's exactly what I noticed. All right, so I cannot do the facing on camera for you, but I want to tell you this. So because I added a center back zipper, now I'm going to tell you guys on this table and then share it with you guys face to face, okay? Now, because I added the center back zipper, one thing I forgot to do is add 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to my facing pieces. So I want to show you guys simply because I realized this after getting ready to do the facing, okay? So, and this is what I mean that I like to be 100% honest with you guys when it comes to different things. So really what I would be doing is putting the facing on like this all the way around. But it's not going to fit. And the reason why it's not going to fit is simply because I made an adjustment by adding 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to the center back. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the front and the back pattern piece and create my own facing piece instead of using this one. Now, I can share with you guys kind of like how to do that right now, but then it would be the same way of doing the front and the back, all right? So first of all, I'm gonna say I did not beat the clock. That's evident right now, but I wanna share with you guys because I'm not gonna use this facing piece. I'm just gonna draft my own because I think that it would actually come out better because I have a center back zipper. All right, so let me just put these instructions out of my way, grab my front and back pattern piece. And sometimes you gotta wing it, just like I'm doing it right now. All right, so once again, this is the pattern. I'm getting ready to draft a facing for it, okay? So I'm gonna grab that pattern, and I have some extra fabric too, so it's not too bad. But let me grab some drafting paper right quick, which I am going to be using some gift wrapping paper from the holidays, okay? So let me grab my gift wrapping paper. Now this is Genius Hurry Up and Pivot, right? So I just find it to be crazy that next week I'm going to see Captain Marvel in theaters and I'm using Captain Marvel or Avengers paper. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of put this down. I don't want to necessarily tape it down, but what I want to do is definitely put this down like this. And you guys have seen me draft facing before, but for those of you who's new to the channel or have not been following me for about a good year, this may be the first time that you have seen me do this. And it's great to do it on a live as well. All right. I am actually grabbing a ruler. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down from the front. Now this is the front pattern piece, okay? From the front, I'm gonna go down 3 inches, make a dot and a line. All right, I'm going to trace around the neck area, just like so. Just making a couple of dashes. And then at the shoulder area, let me bring this down just a little bit. At the shoulder area, I'm going to go out 3 inches there. All right, and that's it. Now, this is just for the front, and remind you, it's cut on the fold. So now what you want to do is you just want to make some dots all the way around at 3 inches. You're going out 3 inches all the way around. Just like this. All right, and now you're going to connect those lines. Now I'm going to grab my hip curved ruler, or I'm going to grab my SA curved ruler. Now you can no longer get this ruler. It's been sold out for years, but now what I'm going to do is just basically connect the lines with my SA curved ruler. Okay. Now I'm just going to kind of blend this out a little bit so it doesn't have like a sharp edge. Just like that. Now the fold is right here, so I'm just going to make a line right here and put Mccall'S 8053 front facing, modification, cut 1, unfold, and then you want to cut 1 of interfacing. Now, remind you that it's a notch right here. You shouldn't need that notch whatsoever because it's off the paper, so you're not going to have to worry about that. All right, so you just put fold. Now that's just the front. Grab your back pattern piece. And we're going to do the back the same way. Now, because you have that zipper area, we're going to do the same thing. Put some pattern weights down. This is that quick pivot and slide that I like to do from time to time. All right, so I'm going to, once again, 3 inches down from the front, neckline, make a line. I'm going to move it back to where you guys can see this to make sure I'm in frame. And then I'm going to trace around this. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 3 inches out in the same process. All right. Now, I'm not worried about the dots or anything. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm just making sure that my facing pieces, my facing pieces fit onto my dress. All right. So after doing that, now remind you, this is not cut on the fold. So you're going to be cutting 2. All right. So now what I'm going to do is from here, I'm just going to go out 3 inches all the way across. Just like this. All right. And then just connect the lines. And all right. All right, and then you want to, I'm gonna make notches like halfway through it, so 1.5 inches. I'm going to make a notch right here, and I'm going to write Mccall's 8053 back facing cut 2 of fabric, and then you also want to cut 2 of interfacing. All right, now remind you, this is your center back, okay? So I'm gonna make a notch on this side. Okay? And then cut this out, cut it out of fabric, interface. And you're going to do the same thing, pretty much what I did for the other pieces. You're gonna cut it out, right sides together, right? And you're gonna match up the notches. Now this one didn't have a notch, but I'm gonna put a notch right there simply because this is cut on the fold. So I'm gonna put a notch halfway on this one at 1.5, all right? That is a notch. This is your center back, okay? So go ahead and cut all of that out. All right, you guys, so we had to do a quick pivot to drafting facing only because I made the adjustment of the center back zipper. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try it on without the facing and the hem. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a separate recording for you guys in order to do your the drafted facing. I'm gonna go ahead and have a small clip recording on the channel on how to put your facing on. It has been a little over 2 hours right now. I was expecting to have this done in 1.5 hours. I do appreciate you guys hanging with me this far, but I'm gonna give you back your time for those of you who's going to be watching the Super Bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and film this portion and have it up by Wednesday, okay? Give me some time because I'm gonna hope to have this up by Wednesday for you, okay? If not Wednesday, it'll be in the video. Actually, you know what? Let me put it in the video with the finished garment measurement. That's what I'll do. I'll actually have the photos, pattern review, and the filming of the drafting. We already did that, but you know, cutting out the fabric and putting it together on this dress, okay? So I'll do that for you guys, and hopefully I can have this dress completely photographed by Sunday. This upcoming, actually, it's gonna be done, you know, but I might post it Sunday. I might post it Sunday or Friday, one or the other, all right? But that's it for tonight. I thank you guys so much for hanging with me, but let me show you guys what it is like on right quick so you guys can have an idea of what it's gonna look like once I have everything ready, all right? So just stay tuned for that. Just hold on and I'll be right back.
Drowning in the lost emotion, crying like some kind of ocean from my eyes. Yeah, I got over you last night. Wasn't it easy to believe I would be broken forever? Thought I would never see the light. You didn't need me, so I went looking for somebody better. Thought I'd be sadder, but I'm fine. Washing my tears away, I watch my heartbreak go down the drain. My heartbreak go down the drain. My heartbreak go down the drain. I finally learned how to let go. I don't even feel the echo of your touch. I've never been so in control. Only love I need is mine. But wasn't it easy to believe I would be broken forever? Thought I would never see the light. You didn't need me, so I went looking for somebody better. Thought I'd be sadder, but I'm fine. Washing my tears away, I watch my heartbreak go down the drain. My heartbreak go down the drain.
All right, you guys, so I have it on. It's looking amazing, as I knew it would. But let me share with you guys. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, you guys can hear me. All right, so this is what the dress is looking like. Let me turn the camera. I don't know if you guys could. Okay, yes, you guys can hear me. So let me turn the camera so you guys could pretty much see what I'm like. It's nothing really at the bottom other than I have pants on, okay? Oh, Kelly, thank you. Thank you. It's pretty much kind of like I had to do something else on the fly. When things fail, you got to pivot and maneuver. All right, so this is the dress. Like I told you, it's a basic everyday dress. Now, the thing that I want to do is like the sleeves came out really, really good with the sleeve band. If I was just to, do kind of like a hem, it just wouldn't have elevated this dress at all, okay? So I added the sleeve band, which is amazing. So let me come a little closer so you guys can see the sleeve band, okay? Now, the pockets, amazing. Like the pockets, like who doesn't want to throw their phone? Now I'm gonna grab my phone just so you can see my phone in my pocket, right? Bam. It's not getting ready to fall out whatsoever. It's not going to fall out. It's going to remain in there. And look, it's right there and you don't even, like no one knows that it's in your pocket because it's not poking out. It's not baggy, saggy. It's not doing any of that, okay? So, pockets is deep enough. Now, let's look at this back. This back zipper is looking amazing, okay? So you have a center back zipper. You can zip up and zip down with no issues, all right? Now, my dress is a little long and I want it that way. Now, I'm going to go up about an inch for it to be at my knees and be comfortable. Now, I have pants on, but I'm going to take my belt off on my pants that I have on real quick just to kind of show you this. Thank you, C. All right, now, one thing that I could do Thank you, Ebony. Socially awkward Ebony. Thank you so much. I felt like the sleeve band was going to elevate this dress just a little bit, okay? Because I didn't think that someone would actually think about doing a sleeve band. Now, I took my belt off of my pants. Now, one thing that I could do, because remember in the modification, I said that it's going to be too big in the waist. Now, I have more than enough belts. So what I could do is definitely, you know, belt it right here, just like this, but of course a different color. And give it a nice look. And still have pockets. Throw on some shoes, tennis shoes, throw on some wedges, throw on some heels. Bam. Not too much, but enough. So just play around with a dress. I hope you try out this pattern. Let me know if you're going to try out this pattern, and if you have any type of issues, don't hesitate to let me know. You can always go back to this video and, you know, watch it through, skip through what you don't need. But I feel like this entire live have been informational. I think that it has tested some limits for sure at the very beginning, but everything is not in vain. I was able to push through it and just basically keep moving and grooving. All right. Well, that's it. Everybody, now it's Super Bowl time. So I thank you guys so much for watching, hanging with me, and I'll catch y'all in my next live, March 2nd. I'll let you guys know what pattern that would be pretty soon. Talk to you soon. Peace.
They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way up, way too fly, yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Squatting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with, oh. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate, I know. They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. Ooh, yeah. Why they wanna bring me down? So much drip, yeah, I almost drowned in it. I can't come it down. Yeah, I'm way too fired up. I can't slow down. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I see the flashing lights. Make sure the fashion right, yeah. I'm in my bag tonight, yeah. Ooh, I might just pull up a foreign. Watch out, the engine is roaring. It's too loud, you can ignore it. Yeah, yeah. This the high life with a view. You get to have it all, no need to choose. First, let me demonstrate how you can rise to the top. Yeah, I had to elevate, 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 elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate.
stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I couldn't levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. Hey, when you elevate, you're stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I couldn't levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight.
They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way up, way too fly, yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Water all blood like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. Oh. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate, I know. They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate.